Welcome to Retire Your Way with ILG Financial. My name is Chase Lopez. This is Dave Lopez, and we're both investment advisor representatives with ILG Financial. And today, we're actually going to be talking about cryptocurrencies, and we've seen in the news quite a bit this all the rage, the digital dollar, right? We've been seeing that in headlines, so we're going to talk a little bit about that today. But Dave, let's start big picture. Cryptocurrency, what should people know?
Well, cryptocurrency, for those who, everyone's heard about it, I would say. If you're watching YouTube, you're technically savvy, right? So you've heard about cryptocurrency, but you may not know what it is.
Yeah.
I would say consider cryptocurrency a speculative investment. And what I mean by that, it's something you would invest in with the hope that it'll go up in value.
Yep.
Will it? I don't know. There's times it's gone up tremendously. Over the last 10 years, it's gone up tremendously, different cryptos. Several of them have gone out of business, right? So when you hear cryptos going through the roof, they're usually talking about one, the most famous, of course, being
Bitcoin.
That's
Right.
the one. But again, there's hundreds and hundreds of cryptocurrencies that have been out there, many of which are now gone.
Right.
So just like stocks that start up and go through the roof and others go out of business, it's a speculative investment. In fact, one of the things when we talk to our clients, we raise with them is this cryptocurrency to me is a misnomer. It really isn't a currency by any definition. And what I mean by that is when you think of a currency, you're thinking of something that has a value, a kind of relatively fixed value that you can count on. So when you're paying your rent, if it's $1,500 a month, it's $1,500 a month.
Right, and we see that, you see it written on your dollar bills every day, backed by the full faith of the United States government, right?
That's right. So a dollar is very relatively stable. In fact, as bad as it gets is during inflation, right? Everything inflates, but again, that's nothing compared to a speculative stock going up 20 or 30% in a 30-day period. In fact, we joked about this. There was this great commercial. I can't remember who did it, but I don't know what that tells you about commercials. But they get credit, not us.
Yes.
And then we're talking about, hey, my employer is now agreed to pay us in Bitcoin. And then in the background, you hear someone who just got their paycheck and turned on Wall Street News and said, hey, I'm a millionaire. And everybody in the room cheers. And then 2 minutes into the commercial, they pull up the Wall Street again, don't they? And they go, hey, I'm broke. And what they're alluding to, and what made it so funny with anyone who follows Bitcoin or crypto, is that it is so volatile that it goes from, $26,000 even recently, $30,000 for a Bitcoin coin, to 67, I think 68,000, and back to 34,000. So that's what we mean by speculative and volatile.
Exactly, and you can imagine with those wild swings, right? It's very hard to justify, to your point, the title of a currency, right? We don't see currencies move with those volatile swings like we see in the cryptocurrency.
Yeah,
so,
can you imagine him just getting dinner?
Right.
And it would either take, the equivalent of 1 coin to buy dinner or 20 coins to buy dinner.
And you have no idea, right?
Where the market is that day.
Right,
You couldn't operate. So that's not a currency. So that brings us to, now again, that doesn't mean it's a bad investment.
Right.
It's a speculative investment.
Boy,
Meaning high risk, high reward.
Exactly, and I think it's important for folks to know, just as we're talking about it, whenever we're speaking with folks about cryptocurrencies, and I'm sure we've gotten this question many of times, hey, should I put money in cryptocurrency, or how much should I put? Dave, you can pipe in if you disagree, but most of the time what we tell folks is any money that you have in cryptocurrency, just be prepared to lose that money if something goes wrong, right?
Yeah, because, and I would suggest if this is of interest, we did a whole podcast on this where we get into more numbers and specifics, mainly because I can look at some of my figures I've written down when I don't have a camera on me. But I can tell you that hundreds of cryptocurrencies have come and gone. They're literally worthless. So if you invested in those, they're worth zero. Just like hundreds of new companies have started and people bought stocks and they went under. And then the few that exploded made a fortune. So treat it like you would treat any very speculative investment. Now, that brings us to the other question, which is, because this is what we're hearing, more and more folks have come to us and they said, hey, I think I understand cryptocurrency and I understand what you're saying about the speculative investment, but but what is blockchain?
Right.
And then we're hearing about this new stable coin is somehow different.
Right.
And there's another acronym that's a type of stable coin. So let's talk about stable coin. The other acronym, which is CBDC.
CBDC, which stands for Central Bank Digital Currency.
You see, even we have to keep up and read these acronyms. So central bank, that's a type, I would say, a type of stable coin. We'll talk about what that is. And then, but first, talk about blockchain, or why there's so much buzz over the last several years about cryptocurrency. I would argue, Chase, for the investment community, the argument, the excitement is around the infrastructure, not Bitcoin. It's the infrastructure of how it works.
So think about it like your house, right? With your house, you have the drywall that kind of covers everything that's going on inside of the house. You have the pipes, the electrical wires, all of that stuff is going on, but maybe you don't see it, right? So really the blockchain technology and really the allure of these cryptocurrencies is this infrastructure. There's going to be a lot less friction, right, than we see today.
Well, that's a good way to say it.
There's a lot of middlemen involved in the transfer of assets, payments as an example. If you swipe your credit card, oftentimes the merchant has to pay a fee for that to make the transaction whole. So really the idea and the allure behind all of this is if we eliminate a lot of that friction, in theory, that would eliminate a lot of the fees and a lot of the middlemen that we have to pay to make these transactions. So when we're talking about this CBDC, which...
Hey, let me interrupt.
Oh yeah,
here's
absolutely.
the big picture. So I need to have... He's got to dummy it down for me. so when I can understand it, I hope you can understand it. So think of the pipes running under the city that get water to run to and fro. You don't see them, right? But someone had put this infrastructure in to allow water to get from the water tanks, right?
Yeah.
All the way to the individual houses. So when you turn your water on, and there's all kinds of intricacies to that that you don't know anything about. Some are efficiently done, some are inefficiently done. Well, the infrastructure, the pipes that get $1 to go from your bank account to pay a credit card or to pay an online payment or to pay and get you withdraw $1 from a bank 100 miles away is a system of checks and balances and ledgers and documents, and fees are charged by people who hold it, and it's a very inefficient system that's hundreds and hundreds of years old. This blockchain, this new infrastructure is what's got everyone so excited. It is the future of the infrastructure of how money will move. Right? And it's very exciting because it is cleaner with the technology. It is more transparent, and more importantly, it is less paperwork and less fees. Now, don't count on less fees for you, right? The banks and the credit card companies are going to know how to get their money.
Right.
But that's the infrastructure. When you hear blockchain, think that infrastructure, and that is very exciting if you're a technology kind of geek or something like that, right? So Bitcoin, though, is just a currency, lack of a currency, that uses blockchain to move. And it's very speculative.
So we know that with a lot of these cryptocurrencies, they're not necessarily backed by anything, right? We talk about the United States dollar, what that's backed by, and now we're going to talk about stable coins. And these stable coins are actually backed by physical assets. So it could be $1, it could be a bar of gold, it could be silver, really any asset that you could think of. These stable coins are backed by this asset. So really what it allows the stable coin to do, and what in theory it's supposed to do, right, is eliminate a lot of that volatility that we see in cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, for example.
So it can act more like a true currency.
Exactly.
A stable value of the account, so that you could use it in currency, because it'll be worth today more or less what it's worth tomorrow. So the big picture difference, again, I want to make sure we've got it. Crypto that you're used to hearing, Bitcoin and some of these are, the value of the coin is tied to nothing. It's tied to what someone else will give you for it. Right? It's worth what someone else will pay, which could be $10,000 or zero. Stable coin is physically tied to some asset. So the amount of that they distribute is tied to a certain amount, so the value is tied directly to the price of gold or directly to the US dollar or something like that.
Yep.
Stable value.
So that begs the question, right? We know that this blockchain technology and this technology that these cryptocurrencies are using is a lot more efficient than the system that we're using now, right? So it really begs the question, with these central bank, I'm sorry, I have to keep looking down.
That's right, central bank digital currencies.
What those will kind of look like, right? Right now, as of recording this video, there is no official, United States digital dollar or anything like that. But a lot of people have speculated that that's where we're going, right? We've seen this kind of for lack of a better term, infrastructure rebuild with this blockchain technology, and really the United States government, we think, will try to take advantage of that.
We do. We think that's the future, not just for the U.S., but we think all currencies will end up being stable coin type digital, but issued by the government. So that's the central bank digital currency. So imagine a stable coin, like we discussed, but issued and regulated and monitored by the federal government or by Japan. It would be the yen, the digital yen, or a ruble, or whatever the country. We think the whole world will move there. I mean, there's some advantages. We were laughing about some of the advantages, but one of them would be much easier to track money and keep track of it. Now that's good and bad. So imagine if you don't have paper dollars, every penny that you get your hands on or don't get your hands on, it has to go in your digital wallet, like an automatic deposit if your friend Venmos you or does something like that, or electronically puts money in your account. Meaning the federal government then would know everywhere your dollar went from the moment you received it to the moment you spent it or held it or invested it. And many people don't like the government having that close of a look. They could withhold funds whenever they wanted. If they wanted to put a freeze on your account, it would be much easier to do. You didn't have money sitting under your mattress that you could use in an emergency. So there's some disadvantages, many people think, to that. None for the government. The government would love that, right? It would be easier to transfer. It would be less expensive for the government, so they don't have to print money. It doesn't use paper. They don't have to destroy currency that gets old. A lot of advantages to the federal government for doing that. And the big one, which is funny, is, believe it or not, this is true, germs. Dollars and money is one of the major ways germs are transmitted, and that would kind of go away. So maybe the pandemic is a perfect reason to use that. So we don't know.
Exactly.
But know that it's probably coming. That's the difference between stable coins or central bank digital currencies. That's probably coming, right? And very different than the other cryptos that are more speculative. If you want to know more about it, check out our podcasts. Right? You can, of course, always call us or talk to us if you want more information.
Yeah, we actually recently did a news interview for a local news network about cryptocurrencies in general. So if you click on the link, you can go ahead and take a look at that as well. But if you want to hit subscribe there at the bottom, hit the thumbs up as well to kind of keep in the loop with all of our future videos. And we'll see you next time.
Yeah, see you next time.